Today we're going to be making a Dirty Dog Tavern Puzzle. The puzzle starts out as hot rolled 6mm square steel. The first pieces we're going to bend are going to be for the top. Goes through 3 series of bends. The first bend would be just a loop. The second bend would be to double up that loop. The third step would be to put the eyes on the end of the bars. The middle piece is done just with making eyes on the ends of one straight piece. And the bottom piece, which we call the dog smile, is made first by putting eyes and then a bend in the center. So let's go and bend up a dirty dog. So our first bend will be to make a half bend. Let's bend 1. We start with our piece of 6mm square stock. Place it into our jig that's going to hold it at the right spot and give it 1 bend. To complete this, we're now going to turn this piece over, place it back into our jig, give it a little bit of pressure. We're going to lift this over top of the other piece and bend it around. To make the opening correct, we're going to hold it in our pry jig, then open both sides, and now we have something that the shuttle can pass through. That completes the first of the bends. The next bends, we'll put the eyes on either side of the piece we've just bent the middle spiral on. And this is done by placing the material into our bender, checking its length, which is important, and then bending it around, tucking it in, and completing the eye. Once done on one side, it's reversed, placed back into the bender, the length is checked, pin is locked, and the second eye is made. And that's the completed part. The next part we're going to make is the middle bar, which has 2 eyes. Those eyes are made here on our pneumatic bender. Now, since we're using air power, we can bend them 3 at a time. We start out by catching them in the bender, rotating it around to make 1 bend, turning this over. We now can make the second bend. Same thing is going to be done on the opposite side. And that makes the completed part. So the next part we're going to make is the bottom, what we call the dog smile. This is done in 2 steps. First is to make the eyes on the end of our bar, and then on a subsequent bend on a hand bender, we're going to make this bend. So we're going to start out here on the pneumatic bender, where we're going to make an eye first on this side. And this will be just a 1-step operation. And then we're going to make the same bend on the other side. Our block here, make sure that we have it just in the right spot. And here comes the second bend. And that gets us to our first bend. To finish the bending on the bottom, what we call dog smile, we start out by taking the pieces that were bent on the pneumatic bender. We place them in our hand bender, and just with a good tug, completes the bend. All right, this will be the assembly of the Dirty Dog. After the parts are all bent, each part is then fitted onto the rings. The rings are opened and closed. We do this in a specific order, so you'll notice that the actual puzzle does not have to be solved, but by opening and closing the rings in the right sequence, we can pre-assemble our puzzle. So now on goes the shuttle. The bottom's part, which is what we call the dog smile, is then fit into the last ring. The last piece is fit in, the ring is closed, and voila, we have one finished Dirty Dog.